An hour and 45 minutes. An hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. That's exactly, indeed, the time length we went last night, not even a whole 24 hours ago, right here, live TLC post-show Slam Pigs podcast. Unfortunately, due to all the guff YouTube's been giving pro wrestling content creators in general over the past 2 years, you cannot visibly see that right now on the videos. It's there. I will link it to whoever wants it, but it's not there right now. Hopefully that changes. Let's cover our ass to do the best we can for all you guys, the listeners, because we had some buffering issues on top of last night and a thumbnail mess up. More things from YouTube. Decided to do this real quick. Not the entire show review from last night, just a recap, basically the best parts and whatnot. Breeze through it here. Hibiki Highspots. Live, and yes, whoever stops by the chat, I will do my best to man it. I am flying solo real quick, as always. You can follow me on Twitter at the HibikiTNP. Check out the reset button, Slam Pigs podcast, Slam Pigs Cruise Control with Logan, Myers, and Colin. And check me out on K-Pay Today podcast at first thing in the morning on YouTube. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. Let's do exactly what I just fucking did last night. Like I said, WWE TLC is in the books. And quite frankly, like everyone knew going in with the news out with the viral infection, sending home Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, JoJo, and Bo Dallas. A lot of changes to the card made. Big shakeups. For the better. I don't think before last night, going into this show, after the changes were made, not one person I saw on social media, anything, complained that it was for the worse. The changes for the better. Shitty circumstances. You don't wish that on anyone, but it is what it is. Roman has the mumps now. I just saw that literally this morning. He is not cleared for Raw tonight. I don't know about Bray, but at least for Roman, he's out still. Best wishes for those guys, most definitely. TLC's in the books. And the biggest story coming out of it media-wise is Kurt Angle, I would say, right? It's a fine main event, like I said last night. A lot of people didn't like it a lot because Kurt didn't exactly come out to his Olympic hero entrance. He came out, if you missed it, I don't know how you have it by now, but he came out dressed with the Shield, doing a full Shield regalia, doing the entrance. And yeah, I like that they didn't do the Olympic hero entrance yet, and I'll tell you why. Fans of today have very little to no patience, right? Everything's shiny and new for about 2 weeks. Case in point, Samoa Joe just came back. Just debuted last year on the main roster. A month later, booking also was a factor in that, but a month later, the fans are bored. Bobby Roode, already starting to stagnate. Nakamura, ring a bell, beyond stagnating right now. If the suggested WrestleMania match with Kurt is still in the plans, which I'm sure it is, probably more now. Quite frankly, after last night, there's a couple things I would do with Kurt after this. I know his health isn't the best, but maybe one match between now and Mania you could get away with. And I think it's a good reason not to do it because you save that. If you blow your load last night and you already give the fans the return of the hero, what's left? Quite frankly, it's gonna be lackluster. As far as a fan reaction, and as far as me, I love seeing the Olympic hero entrance at any time. It never gets old, but for current fans, they just don't have the patience. And I'm glad they waited to do it. But the news out of last night, main event, Kurt Angle in the Shield, his sons, everyone's jokingly, defeated, believe it or not, I know, hard to believe, right? Defeated the team of Miz, The Bar, Braun Strowman, and Kane. During the match, the match was fine, like I said, but a couple noteworthy things here. Braun Strowman, I don't know if he's a full-fledged babyface now, but every single member of his team attacked him and threw him away like Duke Joyce takes out the trash. I don't know. Braun is massively over. He still gets good reactions even as a heel. I think it makes sense in a way. It's just I've always felt it's harder for bigger guys to get over as a babyface, but we'll see. I think Braun's intense enough to do just that. I think he'll be fine. I liked how it played out. I thought it was a nice booking move to make. It's cliche and it's done a million times in matches like this, but for a match this lopsided with just the numbers, you needed an out like that, and it was fine when Kane accidentally hit Strowman with the chair. That led to the friction later on, obviously, with Kane murdering Braun Strowman, doing the spot John Cena did on Wade Barrett a couple years ago. They actually brought back the hanging chairs for one this year in the decoration. We did not say that last night. I'm glad the budget is enough that they can still afford a bunch of fucking chairs and ladders. So that's good. At least they're doing some business still. We take away the pyro, but we still got wood and ladders and shit. Believability when he dropped the chairs on him. I mean, yeah, he got back up. That may or may not have jumped the shark for me. I'm just glad when they threw him in the garbage truck, like you didn't see the garbage truck door slowly starting to open. That would have been way too much. But no, the entire team destroyed Strowman, threw him in the garbage truck, and that was that for Strowman in the match. But Kurt Angle taken out mid match before Strowman actually with Strowman's Davey Boy Smith power slam through a table. It looked nasty. Shout out to Kurt for taking that bump. Kurt carried away. They booked that exactly how they probably should have. A, with Kurt's health, and B, like they've been doing with Lesnar to protect these guys, these part-time. And it makes sense. I was fine with it. It also gave Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins a chance in the match for everyone to not just be fucking thinking and watching Kurt Angle. It gave them some shine, so that was fine. Speaking of Ambrose and Rollins, they had some nice dive spots off the garbage truck, especially. That looked like a slippery slope. Ambrose had a little trouble getting up. It was funny, but he still nailed it. Match was fine. Shield gets the win. Kurt Angle makes his return out mid-match. The music hits, and let's get right to it. When the music hits, I know it's wrestling. I know it's wrestling, but it makes the babyface, in my opinion, come off like such a dick. Like, I'm not going out there. I'm not. I'm not helping my friend until you hit my fucking music. That's exactly what that comes off like to me. I don't like it, but I long for the days when a guy would just fucking run out. Let the crowd response. You know what I mean? That organic. You hear it a little bit, and then you hear it get louder and louder and louder. It elicits a nice reaction. Let me breeze through the chat here. Make sure everything's good. Match was fine. I know for the most part, like I said, a lot of you guys, you were on the match. I mean, what do you want? What do you and like? Shout out to Bruno in my group chat on Twitter. By the way, follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki plug. What do you want from the guy? I'm glad. I'm fucking glad. Kurt didn't do a moonsault. And hey, Megan Starr, yes, I am live. You got a notification. Look at that. My God, I am gonna die of shock. But yes, Megan Starr was on the show last night. Check her out at the Megan Starr. But yeah, that was the main event. Let's move on to the other big noteworthy event on this sporadic 2 days notice, last minute booking on a tour of Buenos Aires, I believe right now. AJ Styles on the SmackDown brand got the call to fill in for Bray Wyatt over against Finn Balor, a battle of the former Bullet Club leaders. Match was fine. Let's flat out made the tweet this morning. I'm gonna say it, you people, you guys, and you know who you are. You know who each and every one of you are. Pick a side. You're so hypocritical sometimes. You really are. I've literally seen, and I love you guys. You're my friends. I'm not going to name names, but I've seen people who hashtag boycott WWE and blah, 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 and have 15 different fucking variations of a Bullet Club shirt, right? Say, I'm not watching. Yet every month they get to watch a pay-per-view because they have a subscription to the network. And right now they've done nothing but praise last night's match with, of course, looking at right now, the two sweets. My God, people. I mean, come on. It's wrestling. It's okay to like different promotions. You know what I mean? It's not like a sports team. It's not like you know what I mean? It's wrestling. Like I don't and I have watched I'm 33 years old. I've watched wrestling literally almost my entire life. I don't remember a single instance that I boycotted a promotion unless it was like a shitty indie outlaw fed that had like a pedophile promoter or something like that. That's different, but I've always been open, even Lucha fucking Underground, as much as I don't like it, I gave it a chance. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go out and be like, shut down Lucha Underground. No. Calm down, guys. It's wrestling. Match was fine. Yes, the elephant in the room. There was a little bit of sloppiness. It could have been better. A, these guys had 2 days' notice. B, I'm not sure how long it's been since they've worked years ago. C, jet lag. AJ Styles was visibly jet lag on his entrance in this, and that's expected. But shout out to him, company man, for taking the call, stepping up, filling in, and quite frankly, much better. This felt like Mania. The entrances alone for this felt like a Mania moment. And I think when the DVDs come out and all that, yes, it's nice to see Kurt and come back and with the Shield and all that. But I think this is going to be the takeaway from this show, looking back a year from now, right? In the history books, this will be the I'm not going to say this is going to be the cover of the DVD because it's going to be Angle, but this is going to be the match that people are going to remember. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It was fine. Finn Balor gets the win. clean. And I said last night, the nastiest looking coup de grace finish he's ever nailed. It was solid. It had no give to it. It was stiff as a board. And shout out to AJ for taking that. And yeah, the match was fine. And that was that. Now, where does Balor go from here? That is the $1,000,000 question at the moment. I'm pretty sure AJ Styles after the champion versus champion Jinder and Brock match, which we're also thrilled about, it's going to happen at Survivor Series. I'm pretty sure then we're going to see AJ go for that title. I'm pretty sure AJ's set. Finn Balor, on the other hand, I see him after last night. I think they've still been weary on him. I think last night's response may or may not have hopefully opened the old man's eyes backstage. There's money in Balor. You don't have to like Balor. No, the paint isn't fucking scary. And yes, I hate when they do the storylines of making Finn Balor seem like he's intimidating with the paint. It's not. It just looks cool, right? It's like Jeff Hardy or fucking. Even back in the day, I never once thought Sting Crow was scary. I just thought he was ominous and badass. And that's how you should treat the demon. And they need to learn their lesson on that. It's a fine line to walk, but you can do it. It's doable. And I think you should win the Rumble flat out. I think the momentum shifts is there. I really think they need to just flat out scratch all plans for Brock and Roman. Somebody really desperately needs to pull Vince aside if he's the mastermind behind that and say, look, like I know you don't like this guy out there who looks like Forrest Gump with Halloween paint, but do you hear those people? Like sometimes it's business, Vinnie Mac. Sometimes it's business. But that's what I would do. I would go Balor with the Rumble. And I mean, you could even do it in the. I mean, this because he's a babyface. This would be cheap. But Mick Foley got away with it as a babyface. Have him come out as boring leather jacket Finn, get eliminated, and then re-enter as the Demon. You could spin it that way. But and then whatever heel he eliminates, if it's a heel, you could lead to the rematch at Fastlane for a filler between Mania, and then you build an angle right there with the heel would have an argument saying that Finn essentially cheated in a way, coming out twice. So I don't know. That's what I would do. Let me know what you guys would think. Other than that, other noteworthy things on the show: Women's Raw title match. Mickie James, Alexa Bliss. Last night on the show, because of work in real life, I said I did not actually walk in on see anything on this pay-per-view until right after this title match with the Mickie James speech. I did, however, go back last night when it was bedtime, laying down my little head, and I caught everything I missed, everything from Asuka, so I can talk about most of it. This match was good. I liked it. I liked the little shout out to the ass smack, which is the GIF of the day, and get used to seeing that GIF, people. Alexa sold that well. She looked fucking pissed. Mickie looked great. And I don't mean that, I mean that like she looked really good. She's just criminally underrated for how well she ages in ring, and not just looks, but you know what I mean. And Michael Cole even made the comment on commentary that one day she is probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. I didn't know she was literally one title reign away from tying the record. I had no clue because, Christ, the way that women's division was treated in like the mid to late 2000s with. I thought like Michelle McCool held it 11 times, honestly. So that's neat. Trish and Mickie, right? And that makes sense. I mean, Mickie is like 1B and Trish was 1A, in my opinion. Match itself, not bad. Yeah, I mean, every match could be better, I guess. But the match was fine backstage. I mean, in real life, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James are really tight. I'm sure they put a lot of time to each other, a lot of input. Her true idol is Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, and getting to the business, and they're really close. And you could tell. You could tell when women are really close, or men for that matter, and they put time into their match, want it to be special. And this, in a way, it felt finish wise, maybe, but just the after speech and just I thought the whole build and this is very rare. I've been able to say this year with the women's angle on Raw. The build was fine. It was good. She had some great shots on Mickey's age, and it was fine. I liked it. Nothing really wrong with the match, and of course, I'm fine with. I did not think Mickey was going to win the belt. Obviously, with Asuka debuting tonight, Nia Jax, which we said last night, it came out this week. She is not unhappy. That was false news. She just asked for some personal leave. She seems like she just needs her batteries recharged. She's a little burnout. So, best wishes to Nia Jax and all that goodness. But yeah, guys, that was the women's title match. Let's get right to the other big news from the show. Finally, the Empress of Tomorrow makes her debut. Asuka on the main roster. Megan in the chat says when Wyatt. Yeah, let me catch up on the chat. When Wyatt comes back, we will go right back into that story. You know, yes, they are stupid enough to do that. And I fear and I shudder to think and I dread that when Bray does come back, I hope it's not like to cost Finn something in the title picture, because if anybody needs momentum back with a title belt, it's Finn Balor. He needs to be back in that title picture because A, what the fuck have they waited on? He's had a built-in storyline. He's had a built-in storyline for months to almost a year because he never lost the fucking thing, right? So, but I could see them doing that. I agree. I do agree with you, Megan. Take a little swig of my morning Java here. It is noon, so for all you that are listening on your lunch break, appreciate it. Asuka versus Emma. Asuka's debut on the main roster. Poor Emma. I mean, look, she's a great hand in ring. I get it. She's always been good in ring. Problem is, every single gimmick that they've given this woman, from the dancing goof to the cop glasses to the Sable version 3, she just doesn't have any fucking charisma, guys. I know she's super hot, and yes, I'm sure she's a very nice lady, and she's a great cook. She has a cooking show. I've seen it. But let's stop. Let's stop pretending that Emma has something charisma wise. I really think that, she's never gonna have that be her strong suit. They need to expose what makes her good and credible. And they did that, and that was fine. They did that tonight. She actually got way more offense than probably anyone assumed. I kind of figured the match would go like this. I really did. To open the show with the squash match, yes, you can do that, but I don't know. But anyway, it was Asuka making her debut. Nice reaction for Asuka. Maybe expected a little louder, some people, but it was fine, I guess. And the match, it didn't set anyone's world on fire, but it was good. It was back and forth. Emma actually dominated about 5 minutes almost. But yeah, it was Asuka with a nasty looking takedown on the Asuka lock, one of the best I've seen actually. And that was that. Tap out Emma. Asuka gets the win. And yeah, big question posed on our 5-man and lady booth last night. I posed around the board to everybody was, tonight on Monday Night Raw, where does Asuka go from here? If you have the book, if you're booking this shit, what do you do with Asuka flat out right now? I mean, you got Survivor Series coming up. Unfortunately, yes, it's cool to see Brand versus Brand at Survivor Series, but quite frankly, the angles to a Survivor Series every year, if it's like that, unless they're main prominently featured title matches, which doesn't look like we're getting any, are filler. These angles aren't going to mean anything, right? Like last year when we had Brand versus Brand, we saw weird alliances and heels and faces, and then immediately the very next night on Raw and SmackDown at the Survivor Series, everything went back to one. It's like those never, and that's going to happen this year. It's filler time, like Miller time, unfortunately. After Survivor, I think until now, I think Asuka will be on the Raw Women's team. I think she will be the sole Survivor Series. I think that's the best way to just focus on Survivor right now and get her ball rolling as far as momentum, because they know they have something special. I know a lot of people, with all due reason, trust me, are very hesitant on how they're going to treat Asuka. Look at Bayley, the Ascension, Bobby Roode, Nakamura. Look, the list goes on and on, right? With everyone they've mishandled, they know what they have with Asuka. Less is always going to be more with Asuka as far as promos. It's not hard to book a character like Asuka, in my opinion. It's really not. It's one, actually maybe the easiest character to book pro wrestling wise is a dominant babyface or heel. Probably a babyface more than a heel. But yeah, I think she'll be fine. And sooner than later, and I think because the SmackDown women got the shine at Mania last year with Naomi winning the title, and we saw a title change. I think this year will be the Raw women, and I think Asuka wins. I know it's cliche, but I think she wins that belt at Mania. I think they wanted to feel special, and I don't think they're going to blow their load on a B level pay per view. So that's my take on Asuka. It was fine. It was a good debut, and let's see. And hopefully, they don't fucking squander it. Other than that, we walked a lot last night. I mean, we literally walked through. We walked like a 4K with Elias. 3 segments in a match. 3 segments with Elias Sampson in a match with Jason Jordan. And this is, oh God. I know some of you guys are big on the Elias character. It's a fine mid-level, get a guy over, fucking whatever. 3 segments. My God, this was. And yes, he played the crowd fine. It's just the problem was the segments that he had to play off of were with a guy who the fans, no matter what they're going to try to do, refuse to get behind as a babyface in Jason Jordan. Yes, the crowd popped when he threw lettuce and all that fucking shit for a second. The problem was they had to have a match. And the match, A, got way too much time. B, did nothing really for either guy. And C, Booker T's comments last night. I don't know if in the headset he was chewed out. But man, he buried Jason Jordan a little bit, saying he literally earned nothing. Immediately, Corey Graves and Michael Cole jumped down his throat. Immediately, putting them on blast. And Book just had nothing. He was just like, man, maybe I did say that. Damn. Not Ron Simmons. But yeah, that was that. Other than that, man, the show was good. A lot better than, honestly, if the show original card would have been what it was, I probably would have fallen asleep. Flat out. I would have fallen asleep during Balor and Wyatt. Excuse me. Flat out. I know I would have. I know. So I'm thankful that we got something equivalent to caffeine and Styles and Balor to keep us trudging, keep the pace through the main event. The show was fine. I think with Roman, the Shield match, it would have been fine. It was just this made it feel so much more special, right? But guys, that's all I got. I want to thank you guys so much who take your time out of your day to listen to Slant Pigs podcast. Anything on the channel. Unfortunately, like I said, the shackles are on last night's episode. Going to see what the hell's going on with that. Hopefully that episode will be visible today. It is up, but you just can't see it on the videos here. Thank you guys, Megan, for stopping by the chat and coming on last night. This is Hibiki's Highspots. Once again, follow me on Twitter at the HibikiTMD. Check out the reset button, Slant Pigs podcast, Slant Pigs Who's Control, Kayfabe Today podcast on first thing in the morning on YouTube. Until next time, this is Hibiki Highspots. Fuck you, YouTube.